You clicked on this video because you're in desperate need of help on defense in CFB 26. Well, luckily for you, I just helped this player transform his defense, and I'm gonna do the same thing for you so long as you follow the 5 tips I'm breaking down in this video. And the tips connect and get better as we go along, so you're not gonna wanna miss out. Let's jump right into it. The first thing you need to make sure you're doing correctly is using the right settings. You can't play good defense without the right settings. Alright, so if we come into, we pause the game, we come into options, alright, then you go into settings, alright, you're going to come into your game options, alright, and you're going to scroll down until you see these gameplay helpers. You want to make sure you have auto flip on, you want to make sure you have ball hawk on, you want to make sure you have heat seeker assist on with your window at 100%. All right, heat seeker is going to help you dive tackle, make tackles in the backfield. Ball hawk is going to help you catch the passes while they're in the air on defense a little bit better. All right, then switch stick delays on none. You want to be able to use a switch stick mechanic with the right stick as fast as possible without any delay. All right, so those are just the settings that you can equip on the main menu. But as far as in game, now you have to set these every single game. All right, you want to make sure you have cornerback matchups on balance. We're going to make sure we talk about what happens if you don't and why you absolutely need to do this. It's very critical. Defense and motion response disabled if you're running zone coverage. All right, you do not want to basically follow receivers across the field when they motion, when you're in zone. All right, the next one that's important though is the RPO pass key, making sure this is on conservative. All right, you want to make sure you have your curl flats on 5, safety depth on close, safety width on pinch. Okay, curl flats, zone drops, we're going to talk about these later in the video, but these are going to be situation dependent and you need to adapt based on the given situation and what the offense is doing. Okay, then close pinch, that's going to help you not give up seam passes. Okay, if we come into a cover 2 defense, you're going to see where our safeties are, right? They're right here and they're right here. Right, and so that's going to be really close to the line of scrimmage. So if they try to just hike throw a seam pass right to their slot receiver, right, this is very common, and you're able to see our defender is right there. Shout out to Bro for ending up on the ground, but he's competent. If he's competent, he's going to be able to just break on that pass just like this and get the interception. Being close to the line of scrimmage has a great advantage for you, because even if they motion this receiver inside to attack that area that looks open, right, you're just going to take the snap, and when they try to throw that pass, we have basically our whole team on that side breaking on the ball. Now, I did tell you that making sure your cornerback matchups are on balance is critical, and that is very important, and this is probably an issue that you're having. Okay, you're basically putting on a by speed, by height, by route running, and you're going to see your defense, when they know huddle, they're going to crisscross, because they're going to try to be matching up based on whatever you have it set to. And if you just get a bad luck of the draw, potentially your whole defense can be misaligned like this, right? Because again, their fastest receivers all the way on the opposite side of the field as your fastest corner or your tallest corner, your best coverage corner, whatever it is. And so when they call just good route concepts, they're going to have wide open passes on the sideline and over the top. And again, there's really nothing that you can do about it besides call a timeout or have the right setting equipped, which is the default setting, balanced. Okay, because you can't just adjust your whole team across the field before they're just going to snap the ball and realize that they have a touchdown. So make sure you're using those defensive settings if you want to be good on defense. All right, the next thing you need to be making sure you're doing is using the right playbook. You can have the right settings, but if you're in the wrong scheme, everything can go haywire. Let me show you my favorite right now. All right, so we're going to be in the 326 playbook. Again, my ebook for this is going to be linked down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But you're going to come into nickel 3-3 double mug. This is one of the best formations, here from this playbook. And so we're going to be looking at that. You want to make sure you're calling the left exit 2-man custom stunt. All right, you're going to drop your defensive end into a curl flat just like this. All right, and then you're going to stand directly over the center, and you're going to be what I like to call turbo engaging with him, which is pressing the D-pad up, pressing right trigger, and left stick down at the same time. Okay, you also want to make sure you're pass committing your defense and dropping him into a zone. Okay, so we're going to press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, and when they go to take the snap, you're going to see either they're going to let you come in free and you're going to be able to push their man into the quarterback, okay? Which is going to be very, very, useful for you. But a lot of the time, what you're really trying to do is get the attention of the center, right? And if you get the attention of the center, then you allow these three guys on the left side to basically play 3-on-2 and go get the said quarterback down. But right here, I mean, he just let me come in free. So, I mean, obviously, if he's going to let me come in free, I'm literally just going to run in free and go sack the quarterback, right? But for the most part, that's not even really what you're trying to do. You're just trying to kind of set the defense up, something like this: D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, okay, take the snap, and then you're able to see kind of again where he's just going to let me come in free. So you're spamming A to get off the block with him. But if he's just going to let you go, like, for no reason, I mean, I'm just going to take that opportunity and run. But then you also are able to see this guy is able to get kind of like a speed boost off the line just because he doesn't get blocked immediately. He's ducking inside. And so he's just going to easily be able to shed that offensive lineman, and get the quarterback down on the ground. And again, this setup is straight from the defensive ebook. So again, if you're interested, go to the link down below in the description. It's probably at the top right of your screen right now, the website. You can go there as well. But we're going to set it up one last time here. See if it's, it's the same thing, right? So you just stand right over the center, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. All right, you're going to take the snap, and then it's again where if he just lets you come in free, you just come in free. I've ran this a lot. I've practiced this a lot. I've talked about this a decent amount too. And this is really the first time where I've just seen this guy just letting me come in free, which again, if he's going to let me come in free, this is easy pressure on the quarterback because I'm using a linebacker. I'm just going to run over their running back if he's blocking. And then you're also able to see we're in man coverage. So we're able to play really good coverage on the back end. Again, you can do whatever you want as far as coverage, but I do like man coverage because we're going to be getting quick pressure. All right. So, using the right playbook, very important. The 3-2-6 playbook, though, isn't really finished there. I mean, you have nickel 3-3 mint, which is really good. Single mug. You have dime, right? You have 3-4 odd, which is really good. 3-2-6, where you can safety blitz them. So you have a lot of really good formations. And again, a lot of this stuff is covered in my defensive ebook. So again, if you're interested, go check it out at the link in the pinned comment. But using the right playbook, very important. And the 3-2-6 is one of the best right now. All right, the next thing you need to make sure you're doing is taking away the offense's best play, which is normally RPOs. Let me show you exactly how to do that. All right, so when we talk about stopping RPOs, you're going to come into any regular old RPO right here from doubles, all right? Here's the thing. If you just call regular zone defense, you're just going to see when they snap the ball, your cornerback right there is going to be looking into the backfield and not have the greatest stick ever, so I'm going to be able to turn that into a big gain, right? So it's like if you just call regular defense, it's going to be easy. They're going to have this bubble out here. That's the whole, reason why when I talk about offense, I say snap RPOs as fast as possible, catch them in a stock defense, and you're going to take advantage of it. Well, when you're on defense, the most important thing is just getting your adjustments off, okay? Here's one adjustment that people will tell you to stop RPOs. Oh, just shade underneath, right? Just make sure you have hard flats on the field, shade your coverage down, and you're going to see that's not really going to work because even when you have that hard flat, yes, he does come down faster, but he still gets blocked, right? If they have a blocker out there, it's like, well, that's the whole point of this man being out here so we can block this guy, right? And so that's kind of the reason why it's a little bit tougher to actually call hard flats. Now, you could call cover 3 and maybe put a hard flat on the field, right? But now you're able to see where he's able to get that interception. So if you're going to shade your coverage down using hard flats, you want to make sure that you're in cover 3 so that your slot corner, right, is the man that's going to be in the hard flat and not your outside corner who's going to get blocked. But here's the thing. Here's the best way that I really like to defend these RPOs, all right? Because I know I've played this game. Sometimes you put him in a hard flat, that outside receiver bumps over and blocks him. But here's the best way to do it. You shade your coverage down. Yes, now you have your hard flat in cover 2, but you just man this slot corner up onto the bubble man or whoever you think can get the RPO because he has no use being in just a vert hook. That's kind of useless for us. But if we just man him up onto their receiver who's going to be getting the bubble, we pass commit our defense as well to make sure that that man's not looking into the backfield to stop the run. And so you're going to see, boom, now he's just going to break on that pass and make that tackle along with your outside corner corner who's going to be in a hard flat, who's going to be crashing down a little bit faster and, you know, making this a tough play as well. So both these guys are there, but you're going to say BLT is an RPO. What about the run? And you're exactly right, because you have to basically get all these adjustments off, but still be ready to stop the run. So really what I would do, if in this particular case, because the running back's on the left side, I would use the left linebacker here. So I would set it up the same way, man this guy up, shade underneath. All right, we're going to pass commit our defense. And always when I talk about run defense, stand 4 yards over the guard, just like this. Right, stand 4 yards over the guard, and then you're just trying to loop through. Now, sometimes you get blocked with certain RPOs just because the O-line like shifts over, right? But you're able to see on this play, right? They just let our defensive end come in free because 77's, you know, blocking air, right? And then you're able to see I'm able to come through and clean that play up if that guy wasn't there. So, you know, gap shooting, having gap discipline, very important. We're gonna go through it one more time here. So again, you're gonna stop the RPO by manning the guy up, pass committing, and shading underneath, right? And so that's going to lock down the pass, but then you're going to come behind them, stop the run with your user by trying to loop through and make that play. So again, I have 2 controllers, but you're really just, I've talked about in many videos, looping around the offensive line and really doing your best of making that tackle in the backfield. And then you're able to see foolproof, everything's taken away, you know, pass. You know, we're sitting here to stop the quarterback, a read option, and then we're able to stop the run. So really fantastic ways to stop the RPOs, something that you're really going to need to practice and get good with. All right, so if I'm breaking anything down too fast, or you want to have a way to remember all this information for your next game on your phone, I encourage you to, again, go to the link down below in the description, pin comment, and grab my defensive seminar, which again is this entire video in written form for you to reference. And the best part is you'll never lose access to it. So go check it out at the link in the pin comment. All right, I know you're tired of giving up corners, posts, outs, really anything on the sideline. Let me show you the best way to shut all of that down effortlessly. All right, so the play that I'm going to be talking about here is going to be cover 6. For any match coverage defense, I do like cover 6 defenses, okay? So I know bunch strong offsets are really popular meta, and so you're going to have to be able to defend that. But you're going to come to your curl flats here, or your zone drops. Again, make sure you have close pinch on, but you want to make sure all 3 of these are on default, okay? Because that's going to make sure that match coverage actually works properly. All right, so now you have all 3 zone drop depths on default, and we're just going to watch this play. And we're just going to watch this play. We're just going to have them call their flood concept, right? We're going to take the snap, and you're going to see how everything is going to get taken away. They're going to pass the routes off perfectly down the field, and those people who just want to sit and throw corner routes on you mindlessly against your cover 2, cover 3, cover 4 defenses absolutely shut down, because you're going to see we're going to be running this corner route. We're going to be sitting on it. They pass it off perfectly. I've said this many times. When you see someone in match coverage, it's so confusing, because right here, this looks like they're just going to be in cover 3 or cover 4 on this side, and I'm easily going to be able to throw my corner out as it runs across the field. But then this man, like, switching, what we call matching, occurs, where he's going to match onto the route and take it away. Very, very easy to understand and very easy to execute, because again, I made 0 adjustments on that play. All I did was call cover 6 with my zone drops off. You have to make sure you have those zone drops off, but then you're also able to see this out routes taken away, you know, by this, you know, quarter flat defender. So again, their entire flood concept absolutely locked down. And then you can also see, you know, the deep post down the field is sat on by the soft squat, by the deep half there. So very, very useful for you. Now, a great, you know, addition that you can make to a play like this is getting really quick pressure. So again, shift your D line to the left, right, so that you can basically overload one side of the offensive line, and then you're going to just stand right here and try to, again, get the attention of the center. You don't want to necessarily turbo engage with him, which again is D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. You don't want to do that, because that's a little bit of a commitment. You want to make sure that you're back into coverage as fast as possible. So again, you're just going to have them take the snap. I get off this block by spamming A, and you actually don't even want to get on that block at all. I did by accident, but if you do get caught in the block, you can always just spam the A button, right? But then you're able to see, this is what I'm talking about with our stunt. Because I confuse the center, this allows this man to come in free off the edge, and then the running back has to step up and block him, which again, he's just going to punish this guy, you know, over time, just because like he's bigger than him, and you're able to see he gets the sack. Running backs can't block outside linebackers. But also, if they sent that man out, we would have a screamer, right? We would just immediately get after the quarterback from really just a 4-man rush. So match coverage, the best way to stop corner routes, flood concepts, really anything they're trying to do in the sideline, and then you can add that custom stunt on top of it to make it foolproof. Alright, maybe zone coverage isn't for you. Let me show you a way to make your man coverage 10 times better with a secret adjustment. Alright, so you can set this up from a cover 0 defense, from really any man coverage defense. Alright, I'm going to run cover 0 here just because, that pretty much guarantees you the fastest possible pressure. Alright, so you're going to see everyone's going to be in man coverage, right? And so this man on the outside, Jackson, he has outside leverage on this receiver, okay? Which means that a lot of the time, he's just going to be able to sit on like a corner route, right? Let's just have that man run a corner, and you're going to see he's typically going to do a good job. You're going to be able to see that's pretty good man coverage. He got beat a little bit there. I mean, you could see the quarterback sailed the pass, really meaning that there was not enough room for him to throw it. So not like pretty good man coverage, right? So you're going to see pretty good man coverage there. And then, but obviously, like if he were to run like a dig route, right? So have him run maybe like a 10-yard dig, he doesn't have the proper leverage, and so he's kind of he has a chance to get beat. I'm not going to say he's going to get beat every time, but it makes sense. If he's shaded outside and the man runs inside, right? That's the advantage for the offense, right? But what if we shade him inside? Well, if we shade him inside, you would expect him to be able to stop that dig route because he has the proper leverage. But now it's like, whoa, the corner route could be open, right? So again, corner route, we're going to put this man on a drag so he doesn't run into him. So corner route, and you're going to see this time pretty good man coverage, right? Even though he was shaded incorrectly, the man ran the other way. All right, and so like that's cool. Shading is cool. Sometimes you guess right, sometimes you guess wrong. But really, here's the best way to make it as good as possible. You're going to shade, you can shade inside, and then you're going to press Y, you're going to press A, then you're going to press the receiver's button that he's covering, right? So you're going to press B in this case, and then you're going to route commit outside using the left stick to the right, okay? So now he's shaded inside, but we're route committing outside. So essentially, he's going to be able to sit on this corner out very, very well, and he's going to be able to guard these receivers down the field. So again, boom, take the snap. We're basically going to be running the route for the receiver just because we're telling the man, hey, we think that this man's running a corner route, so we want to route commit outside. When this is the most useful, honestly, is you can bait the offense, because if the offense, like I've been baited by this many times, especially at the beginning of the year, right? What you see is this man shaded inside, so let me just call a corner route to the outside. Well, no, because now we're route committed inside. So you're going to get them to call outside breaking routes, but you're basically going to be sitting on those outside breaking routes. But then you're going to say, BLT, well, this leaves you vulnerable to the inside. Well, not really, because you have body positioning inside to be able to stop that, or that dig route. So we're going to set it up the same way where we're going to route commit inside, we're going to shade inside, but we're going to route commit outside. But this time we're going to have them call that same 10-yard dig route. Right? And he has a chance to get open. I'm not going to say he's never going to create any separation, but you're going to see this time when we take the snap, he's pretty much, like I said, sitting on that pass because he's already inside, essentially. So he doesn't have to like really go anywhere. Boom, take the snap, a little bit of bumping here, but for the most part, pretty good man coverage. And then you can obviously see he turned his hips outside because he was ready to defend an outside breaking route. But then the man comes inside and he's still there for the most part to be able to defend that. So the route commit, you can do this on every single DB, right? So if I wanted to shade everyone inside or in route commit everyone outside, I could certainly do that. I would recommend if you're running man, you do this for as many defenders as possible, but it's going to make sure that you're basically covering your butt. If you shade incorrectly, you can still route commit the other way, and you can basically get a glitch man coverage, like sticky man coverage, because your body positions one way, but then you're route committing and telling the man that he's running the other way. Very, very good way to play man coverage. Alright, so again, if you want this entire video so you don't have to go surfing the internet, anything I broke down in written form, go to the link down below in the description, the pinned comment, grab my defensive seminar for this video for only $9. Please, don't let $9 be the reason you still are trapped on defense at CFB 26. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.